Well, there we go.
Wow, mate, that's fantastic. That's sensational. How are you, mate?
Did you like that? Did you like that intro? He made that just for you.
That is absolutely off the charts.
Just for you, brother. All right. Well, welcome one and all to another. Well, I'm sorry, not another. This is actually the very first special feature presentation from Hobby Time Modelers. We have Jason representing Outlaw Paints. Jason, how you doing?
Good, mate. I think we got some noise in the background there.
Like a fan noise?
Good, mate. I think we got YouTube or something in the background.
Uh-oh, somebody watching the stream? Not me.
Hang on.
No.
I don't think I am. Hang on, let me check. I'll check my PC, but it's just over there. I'm here. I'll just go check.
But again, hope all is well with everybody. We are here to do a special demo presentation for Outlaw Paints. We are going to be using their product basically for the very first time and do it live. So why not, right? Because if it's going to happen, it's going to happen on a live stream.
No, mate. No, very, mate. I've never seen it done live, but I've never seen it used in the US.
Double whammy.
That's true. So now there's two things off your bucket list, Jason.
Mate, that's it. No, the major one is going to see the Daytona 500, mate. I just missed that again this year, but yeah.
Yeah, when is that, anyways?
That was last weekend, mate.
Oh, it already happened.
Yeah, mate. It was good. They went round, crash, round. It was great.
Eric, you don't know when the Daytona 500 is? You're not an American.
Okay. One, I'm not in the Southeast. All right. Okay. So I don't live where Donnie is. Or furthermore, with Ian, since he's in Atlanta, Georgia. So I don't know. Isn't that where does it take place?
Well, it's called the Daytona 500.
Daytona where?
Florida.
Daytona Beach.
Daytona. Well, I wouldn't know that. I hate Florida. Okay. Well, this is my take on Florida, right? It's the La Brea Tar Pits for humans. Okay. When you get old and there's no more use for you, you like wander down to that state, and that's where you go to die. So
isn't that Vegas as well?
No. That's like that's total tits up Sin City, man.
Yeah, but don't they just sit there and they put the old slops there, the old one-armed bandits?
Oh my goodness! And they say that's addictive. I wouldn't know. I don't do that stuff.
Yeah, I don't know how you can get addicted to losing money. No, who knows? No, here, have another 1,000.
Okay. So, would you rather? Here's a would you rather. Would you rather spend it on a slot machine for a very slim chance at meager winnings, or put that into modeling?
Oh, you're definitely going to put it in the model because at least you know that your kids can inherit it.
See, I like that mode of thinking.
Yep.
All right. So here we have a couple test pieces that we're going to be doing today that I kind of like salvaged from a couple other kits. One piece is from a Russian T-34. It's a 72nd scale. Another piece was from, what was that? A 1960 Ford Ranchero. And then we have the classic Barbados Rex spoon collection that are all three are ready to prime. One piece is primed already, and then I have two that are unprimed that we'll be working through later on in the stream. I have a 3D print of Colossus from the X-Men that is a perfect candidate to at least test out the chrome. Disclaimer, okay, to spray chrome on anything, it is best for a high gloss black, okay? This is not high gloss, all right? So before Jason tears me a new one, this is semi-gloss, so it's just going to have to do, It's going to have to. It's gonna. I'm telling you, it's going to have to do.
What does it say on the bottom, mate?
It says, don't listen to Jason Bailey and spray whatever the hell you want to spray. Then it says it right there. Right? I know you can't read the fine print on the screen there, but that's what that says right there. But no, seriously, his chrome right on the front says requires a gloss black base. Not sure how it's going to react, but it's going to be fun to find out.
Did they want to see the sample first up?
Might be. I got the airbrush cleaned and ready to go, except for the outside.
Do they want to see what it looks like before or after?
Okay, well, you should show them your spoon first. Yeah, look at that. That's what it's supposed to look like.
So look at that. Can we see the monitor over there? We can see the computer.
Oh, man. You know, and that's sweet. That is a sweet shine. All right. So, like any good presentation, we will be taking questions. That if you have any questions about Outlaw Paints or the use thereof, go ahead, put them in the comments below. Try and put like a Q and then a colon and then your question. So Todd can kind of weed out the normal chit chat from the actual questions for Jason. Jason, as I'm going to be muted because of all the noise I'm going to be making spray brushing, you are more than welcome to take the floor and talk about whatever you want to talk about. Aussie Scale Modelers Live, what you do for them, so on and so forth.
Mate, will you let me know when you're ready to fire away?
I am ready to fire away. So mate, I will go muted. And Jason has the floor for now.
I've got the floor. I will, first up, mate, thank you so much, mate, and everybody that's out there. I'm not sure who's watching because computers are over there, so I've been waiting for Todd to fire those questions at me. My channel, my main channel is Aussie Scale Modeler, and well, today's Sunday, well, early Sunday morning here in Australia, but Aussie Modelers Live. This was all started up a couple of years ago. Aussie Scale Modeler. Due to men's mental health as well, like my own mental health, and been modeling coming up to 50 years now. I've got a passion for it, as you can see all around you. That's the tip of the iceberg, so to say. Don't forget to check out tomorrow night's episode on the Holden Effigy. That, for those in the States, the Holden Effigy is a one-of-a-kind built car from General Motors, and it's an Australian car. And Andrew Fulton from fullballmodels.com, he does amazing 3D kits, and I think I mentioned it in the video, if you're going to buy one kit for the rest of your life for your stash, that even if you don't get to build it, and as we all know, it happens, it's just amazing. And with Andrew, we made the paints specifically for that kit. We don't sell them at Outlaw, but you can purchase from Andrew. Aussie Scale Modeler. I'm a believer in the old values, where you walk into a bricks and mortar store, you chat to the storekeeper, the bloke behind the counter there, catch up with other modelers, you take yourself back in time as a child and you look around and be amazed, and you meet some amazing people, and you get to share with them and they get to share with you, and you walk out that door and you've got a smile on your face. You're probably a couple $100 lighter in your back pocket, because we're not the most responsible people in the world when it comes to spending money on plastic. But yeah, that's what it's about, and sharing it with our kids and our grandkids and getting them off the old buttons and that. When it comes to Outlaw Paints, Braden started it a couple of years back, and I took over, bought the company from him. my wife and I, Mrs. Outlaw. And what I'm loyalty is my big thing, and it's the best there is. Not a bottle leaves that the door or goes out the door that hasn't been checked, hasn't been sprayed. Yeah, everything's consistent.
Got some questions for you, Jason.
Yeah, mate.
We got a question for you. What clears do you recommend over top? Like a Tamiya, Mr. Hobby? Do you have
We sell clears.
Oh, there you go.
We have satin clear, flat clear, gloss clear. And depending, if you're going to spray, say, a car body, and you're looking for that glass effect, use the 2K. We have a box set called 2K. It's got everything you need in it, and wear the proper breathing apparatus because it'll take you high. So yeah.
Yeah. Eric, you need to unmute because Josh would like to know what PSI you're shooting at. I know he can hear us.
I can tell you. On the bottle, we recommend, and it's between every bottle, between I think it's 16 to 20. 15 to 20 PSI. I'm not sure you'll catch that there. It's maybe very small, but on the back of each label gives you what we recommend. Because each compressor is different, each gun spray is different, it gives you that range 15 to 20.
Bilge would like to know, Chief, if the VK is the Kings of the Mountains favorite.
The VK Commodore. Yeah. The VL Bilge, the VL Commodore, RB30T. But yeah, the BK, that's the in the Commodore range, the Holden Commodore, that was it. But HQ, Monaro, GDS, that's my favorite Holden of all time.
Now, give me 1 second.
I'll give you two.
Eric, I don't even know if Eric can Eric not hear us?
I'm not sure he can.
Because he muted himself, so I can't unmute him.
No, what thinners is he cleaning out with?
I don't have any idea. That's what I was going to ask him. Eric.
Because he's supposed to be using
Hello.
We had a couple questions for you. What PSI are you shooting at?
20.
Okay. And what are you using to clean? What was that?
Actually, a combination of stuff. There's, let's see, I got flow improver. I've been told helps. I got airbrush cleaner from, who is this? Is this Createx?
Oh, you know.
Yeah.
Right,
Also, I have this.
That's what you need.
Right there. So right now I'm just getting big chunks out of it.
Yeah, that's mate. You don't need anything else bar that thinner.
Yeah.
I only use that. You just tip it in the cup, give it a swirl around with a dead brush, and tip it out. So, yeah.
Oh yeah. See, this is what happens when you go nose blind. I don't even smell this.
Yeah, nose blind. I've never been nose blind.
So what are you doing differently? You shot that first spoon with a blue that was blurry. I couldn't see what color it was. And that's just
I tried getting good light in this, but in the paint booth, but I don't really have the best of light. This right here was one that I really wanted to find out and check out is textured blue.
Oh yeah.
Yep. And so far, boy, she went down beautiful. Again, bad lighting, but
Yeah.
very nice. Now you put a gloss coat on that, she'll shine.
All right. So
With
now
the
what do
2K,
you?
you'll do it.
Now, all of these were primed with the gray primer. I do have a couple pieces that aren't even primed at all. But right now, I'm getting ready to shoot some more black onto a spoon. But I got to do the cleaning here.
Yeah, all right, mate. With our textured paints, everything is. There's a lot of secret squirrel stuff that goes on, and to get what goes into one of those little bottles, a lot. Like a paint just doesn't produce itself. Colors don't produce themselves. Everything we make is handmade. It's not, press a button and there it is. Researching federal standard, your RALs, your British standard, all that sort of stuff, that takes time. And then you've got to, we try to act 99.9% of the time to get that code, to get the exact, we find the exact same color chips, so they can be matched, because one federal standard code might be, you'll spray it and it'll look totally different to the original color. We get a lot of questions regarding, we've got a train range as well, British standard, Australian rail, but we were approached by, I think it's a guy in Atlanta. He was saying, can we do American rail? And we said, yes, we can. Excuse me. But we need either color chips, we need color codes, because the company that makes the trains or whatever ain't going to just say, oh, here you go. That.
And I would imagine, when you see a color on a monitor, right? When most people are shooting, they're looking for colors. Colors on monitors do not represent what they shoot in real paint, right? It's you're talking about a refractive surface versus a emitting light surface, right? And
Yep.
I know there's a difference there. What do you choose? Like, how's that process work when you choose what your next color is going to be? Like, how do you choose what colors you're going to offer?
Okay, well, first up, we will never ever use anything that's on a monitor or anything. You just never do that. We don't do that, because as you stated, something emitting versus a refractive and reflective is two different worlds. So I might be a model show, I might be down the street, or you see a color. This is what I personally do, and you take a photo of it, you've got it in your mind. You see like that color etches in your mind. You can't really walk up to somebody's car and say, look, can I just take a chip off that? Thanks for coming. Yeah, they tend to take a dim view of that. But or I've been known to hang around and wait for that person to come and say, look, I think your color's great. That's just amazing. Who did it? How long? And learn about where that color came from, and go back to the source. Because if you don't do that, it makes work a lot harder to reproduce what you've seen.
Yeah, because I had friends that ran print shops, and the first time I ever saw one of those big 4-color printers, and I said I was so used to red, green, blue, because red, green, blue is what makes light and what makes your television and all those things, the LEDs on your television, but they use CMYK, and I said, wait a minute, and he goes, no, that's paints. You have additive versus emitting. And I said, so these colors are all made from cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. And is that the same process when you're making paint colors?
No.
Okay.
No, not at all.
Okay.
So think of your color wheel. You ever seen the color wheel? A color spectrum. That's how paint's done. So with your RGB, yes. But you've got bases, say, on your color wheel, and then you move through that, but then you're bringing that to here, and you're getting to that one point. And we don't test under LEDs. We go in the sunlight. Excuse me there. Yeah. So when we do a spray up, that has to be in sunlight, because sunlight is your truest friend. And then we wait, excuse me, just about to sneeze. Overcast day, rainy day, so you can see the spectrum of what that color does through those lights, different light sources.
Yeah, that's, you know, like in my studio, I use 6K lighting because that's as close to sunlight as I can get, right?
Yeah.
But you know, just changing that color temp behind a cloud on a cloudy day, like you say, that changes the color, right? It's all it is reflective. So yeah, I was curious, like when you decide you're going to make a new color, what goes in that process of deciding what color to make next?
I think it's the heart. The heart goes into it, or demand. We've got a couple of colors, I can't think of them off the top of my head, where people have said they want this color because it's the color of the, you know, the flavor of the month or the flavor of the year. But normally it's just heart. We're fortunate that we can actually make custom colors for people. If somebody can find that, if they've seen that color or they know the color they want, we can actually recreate that for them for a model.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's how it works that way. Yeah. So if you had some Chevy Bel Air that had some wild and wonderful color, if you could find out codes and whatever, or get a sample, or even if it's worst case scenario, a digital sample, and we can try, we do the science to get back to, you know, a reflective sample, we can recreate it for you.
That's awesome. Bilge would like to know, how many times do you dump a batch if it's not right? Basically, I think he's asking, like, how many times is it wrong before you get it right, do you think?
Well, Braden, he might, well, I've never seen him actually had to dump a batch, but I've dumped a few batches, but I'd say, because before you go to volume, you're working in that, so maybe 20. You know, like,
if the paint's additive, does that mean that you can basically, if you have a batch, let's just assume you have a pot, right? And you're adding colors to that pot, you can just keep adding different colors until you get it right? I mean, you can take a sample of it, shoot it, or does it get to a point where you say, oh shit, I've added too much red, I'm screwed, I got to start over?
Yeah, when it goes, I'm good at making black. Black, I can turn anything. I'm full Rolling Stone, I paint it black. No, but there's a point where of no return, and well, that you can't even just make that black because it's gone, and you then just, you know, you can't recover it, and whatever you add to it, even though the paint might go black, is it really black? It's not going to be a true black. So yeah.
Let's get Eric's feedback. What do you got on that black, Eric?
Hello, mate. He's just having fun there by the look of it.
I think he's got to clean his hands before he can unmute himself.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I got to clean the old finish. All right. So, as for the black, the semi-gloss, I'm impressed. I mean, color me impressed. This stuff goes down smooth. But what impresses me even more is the fact that the drying time is quick. It is like super quick. Now it's not like quick like it's gonna like spatter on the spoon or whatever, you know, as you're spraying it. Not that quick, but you know, it's already drying as soon as it hits the spoon, right? So, but
it's designed so that it's wet when it leaves. As soon as it contacts, that's when it starts its activation with the other surface. So that there's some paints there that if you go like that, they're almost, that's why you get a lot of dry tips in that. That won't give you a dry tip. And the smoothness comes from the self-leveling that's in it. So you've got Mr. Hobby, the leveling thinner and that, but we don't use that. But Mr. Hobby's got is similar, but we've got about 98% one pass, but it's self-leveling. It's been designed that way. Braden did a lot of work to come up with that. I don't know how.
I noticed dry tip a lot when shooting Vallejo.
Yeah.
Vallejo, whatever you want, however you want to say it.
Vallejo.
Yeah, right. And I love the paint, but they say it's ready to shoot out of the bottle. It's not.
No.
It definitely needs to be thinned a little. If you try it with alcohol, it clumps, right? Because it's so different that it's an acrylic, which should be water based. But I'm so used to you shooting Tamiya's, which do have a solvent alcohol base to them, and they dilute really well with alcohol, like IPA. But if you try that with Vallejo, you have to use water because it'll just clump immediately.
Well, that's the
true water base, right?
This is acrylic lacquer.
Oh, it's lacquer. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. And the thinner, at first when I picked out the thinner, I was like, well, this is supposed to be paint that's pre-thinned, right? So when you buy it, it's like airbrush ready. Well, now I know that this is for the cleaning.
Yeah.
This is to clean the airbrush.
I'm just happy I can watch you literally pour it in the gun and shoot it. Right, that's great because I haven't had a paint yet that actually says it's airbrush ready that doesn't shoot from an airbrush.
No, that's all I've been doing. That's all I've been doing. Now these bottles are really cool. What size are these bottles, Jason?
30 mil. 30 mil.
30 mil. There we go. Okay, so these are 30 mil bottles. When you open up or unscrew the cap, you got a plastic little piton. Right there. It's a little cone shaped. Then you just literally dump it right in.
Yeah. Or as I've done a few times, dumped it right on the bench. Yeah.
Yes. So anybody that's new to airbrushing like myself, again, and I'll state this again, I said it on the pre-show before we went live, that I'm no Barbados Rex. That guy does that for a living. Somebody new, this is perfect because they get the paint they want, they pour it in, they spray it, and all they have to do is use a little bit of the acrylic lacquer thinner from Outlaw Paints, cleans the airbrush, bada boom, bada bing, you're done. And you couldn't ask for better paint applications of how smooth this stuff goes down. If anybody's curious, I'm not using Awada, I'm not using Badger, I'm not using anything. This is a 5-year-old Amazon airbrush that I bought for $45. Came with a square air compressor and what you see here. And that was it. The compressor that I have here is from Donnie, and this has been a game changer in my opinion. Hang on.
In the meantime, we got some new questions came in. I'm going to start with this one from Mark. At what humidity and temp range do you recommend spraying your paint?
Okay, well, we live in Gladstone in Queensland. So if you go up the eastern seaboard of Australia, go up, we're about midway or 3/4 of the way up the top. About 6 hours north of Brisbane. We're very hot and humid here. I'd say, look, I've sprayed in 39 degree Celsius temperature. not recommended for your health, but like it's just too hot here. But we don't get snow up here ever. Like not a chance. If it does, we're in trouble.
So for somebody that is around, and basically making paints, and for those who don't know, what would you say to somebody that's in a drier environment or somebody that's in a cooler environment? Do you need to change the paint in any way or spray it in a different way?
Never had to go into a cooler environment, but
Okay.
you might be able to help us out. In the States, like I know it gets snow. I mean, I've seen Home Alone. But
it's probably 40 below where Eric is. So.
And that's important. I was going to bring that up. I didn't want to interrupt, but I was going to bring that up. I got a window. I'm sitting right underneath the window. Yeah, and it is like super cold, tons of snow on the ground, and it's drying the popcorn fat. Right? There's just no humidity here where I live because it gets so damn cold. And I'm spraying this, and this is spraying perfect as is. No mixing, nothing.
Now, what do you keep your house at? You're obviously not sitting outside, Eric.
No, I'm not sitting outside. I'm just below a window. I'm actually in the furnace room. So it's, I don't know, 68.
Would it be safe to say if you're comfortable, the paint's comfortable? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a great, mate. That is a great analogy.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to be hot and humid. You don't want to be cold and frozen. But if you're a decent humidity at a decent comfortable temperature, the paint's going to shoot fine.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it's got a vast range, obviously, because if you've got snow outside, mate, I can tell you right now it's 32 degrees Celsius here. So
about like what is that? 80s Fahrenheit?
That's 90 degrees. That's
90.
Fahrenheit. That's rough.
No, that's not rough yet. We were at 42 the other day, and in South Australia they got up to 50.
122 degrees Fahrenheit. That's Phoenix, where I'm from. That's our temperature is 15 Celsius. It's brutal.
Yeah, but the humidity was about 98%.
That makes it worse. That's Florida.
Yeah.
So now what are you doing, Eric?
Well,
Oh,
almost falling. Doing another spray of black, and then I'm going to move on to the chrome.
Cool. Fine. Have you got a gloss black anywhere, mate?
Yeah. Do you have a gloss black?
Gee.
You might not. You might.
Raise your hand if you're a gloss black. I do not. Not for airbrush. I have a rattle can.
Try a rattle can, mate.
Oh my God, rattle! Are you serious?
Do it.
Yeah, because you're not going to get, and I've never used a rattle can and the
you know what?
chrome on it, but
We'll do it. We'll do it.
A gloss black is really required. You're not going to get.
I'll do it on a white chest piece.
Yep. Go do it, Eric.
Unprimed. We'll do it. So.
Yeah.
All right, we got another question for you, Jason.
Yeah.
What was the hardest color you tried to develop?
Oh. See, people look at the color shift ones and think they're hard. They're not. There's different pigments that just work together. I think your military, like in the military colors, like your olive drabs, your NATO browns, your military colors, that they seem, when you look at camo patterns, that's just brown, that's green. But to get it right, there's and rail colors are the same. Like some of them have about 21 to 30 different colored pigments just to get that color. And it's a balance of how much of this and how much of that and how little of this and how little of that to bring it all together. And it's
now. It's curious. You mentioned color shifting. Is that something that has? I'm when there's science to it, right? But is obviously those are little flecks of pigment, right? And they either settle a certain way that causes the light, depending on how you're.
So the way the light refracts off them.
Yeah, and that's insane. Like just thinking about how the science of how that works, right?
So think of a mirror that contains a spectrum of, say, well, most color shifters that they've got two, but think of on one side you've got red and one side you've got green. So this angle, the light hits it, you're seeing a green in the red. And then as the light passes over, or as your eyes pass over, that's where you get your color shift.
Go ahead, Eric.
Is that gloss enough for you? You can see the ring light.
Yeah, that's gloss. You can see the ring. Yep. So, mate, you're just building up at a gentle mist. Once that's dry.
Yep. I gotta let this dry for a little bit.
Being a rattle can and not being Outlaw.
I'm not sure who he's asking, but Bilge is asking, "What's your latitude?" Is he asking you, or Jason, or is he asking Eric?
I think
he's asking me. I don't have a stinking clue. So, all right.
I'd be asking Bilge, what's with the attitude?
Let's see. I'm looking it up. Let's see. Eric is in Bismarck, which is 46 degrees north, 46 and a half degrees north. Buck has a question. If need be, can you use a regular brush to touch up, or is it designed to only airbrush?
Thanks for the Bucky. Okay. You can use it depending on the size of touch up. You're not going to be doing big chunks, but yeah, you can. So what I'd suggest, shake the bottle well. Get to the bottom of the bucket of the bottle and just scoop up a little bit of pigment, and then just tiny little touch ups with your fine brush. That's okay that way. But we have developed. Where are they? What did I do with them? Hang on, 5 seconds. Here we go. So here we've got a brushable red. It's a clear red. So for your taillights and that, and it is magnificent. And this is the clear. This is white. It's a gloss white. They're both brushable. We are developing the range because that's another science in itself.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you want to tell people who don't know, like, there is a big difference. I mean, from what I've learned is that, airbrushable paints have a very fine pigment in them, right, to be able to go through the nozzle. But there's probably more to it. You give some background on that, the difference between the two?
Way more, mate. Okay, so you can have powdered pigment, liquid pigment. They're the two main ones that So I won't call them cheaper, but they're powdered pigment. So when you get a lot of clogging in your airbrush, that's powdered pigment not being thoroughly mixed up, not fine enough, and the thinner dissolves it, but then it brings it back, like it reforms into and that's where when you get the really rough surfaces, say you're doing a spray out, and all of a sudden it looks like somebody just puts, throwing a clump of sand on you. That's more good chance that it's powdered pigment. So we're liquid pigment, and then you've got grades of how good that liquid pigment is, and ours, well, I know what US dollars would be, but for 1 litre, so I don't know what a litre is in your guys' system over there, but just for a litre of one of our pigments, $495 Australian. So
that's just over 300 American
for 1 litre.
Yep, that's crazy.
Oh yeah, and we have to use as I said, sometimes between 20 and 30 pigments to get to make a batch, and that's not a big batch, because when you Eric will state when he looks in the, as you've seen in the bottles, we give you a lot of pigment, and that's the secret. Liquid with premium thinner, not just your regular Lowe's or Walmart or what's the other one? Home Depot. No. This is expensive pigment thinners, which breaks down and blends with our pigment to create what Eric's spraying now. So
yeah, it's. I know there's a lot to it, and then when you go to brushing, do you have more latitude with brushing when you do brush paints? Can you use
but we don't.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
everything
didn't
is
know if
assigned.
that's like in other people's worlds, like other companies, when they make brush paints versus airbrush paints, can they go a little cheaper because when you're brushing, you can use thicker pigments or maybe less expensive ones and make your money back or something.
Yeah, it's a balance. And I think when Braden took over, him and I have the same mindset on quality and modeling. What do we want it to look like? If we had to buy this ourselves and we opened up the lid and then we poured it in the brush and it came out and we're just like, yeah, it's okay. We don't just do okay. We're not happy with okay. So yeah. Now this body here, it took 32 hours to mask it up. 2 years ago. It has never. When I sprayed this, the primer, I just sprayed primer. I didn't sand it.
Wait for a second, since Eric is just cleaning. Let's see that.
That has never been polished. It has never been dusted.
Your camera's even picking up the flake. That's crazy.
Yeah. Now that was 2 years ago. And as I said, it's never been polished, dusted. That came straight out of the airbrush. Everything you see there.
That's amazing. You were speaking about masking. We actually have a question from Buck. I'll throw him up here. He says, does it leak under masking? That's his biggest problem when he airbrushes.
32 hours of masking. There's my lines.
Now let me ask you this: what masking tape did you use?
Okay, I used Tamiya, but I use Icky Sticky. Let me get this.
Gotcha.
That's what I use there. Now there is more like that. If you go to iggysticky.com.au, that's where you can get it. Monique does ship to the US.
That's something else. I was going to ask you is obviously if you're shipping a lacquer, that's considered a hazardous material, isn't it? When you ship, so doesn't that have to go ground? Does that mean longer ship times to say the US?
Have you heard the word hobby supplies?
Oh, is that a caveat?
Hobby supplies. Yeah, like volume. Yeah, naturally big volume. Absolutely. I wouldn't want to be responsible for somebody's misfortune, but that's where we're having the cost of shipping to the States. But I've shipped a heap to the States already for individual use, and people are happy to pay for the best there is. Would you settle for I don't know what you'd call it. Say you had an old Mazda, or would you like a Ferrari? What are you willing to pay? What result do you want? So, volume wise, I try to work out a decent price, and we actually help out with shipping for customers, private customers, like not distributors. That's where we're having issues at the moment, getting the price down for distributors, so they can import it into the States, because it's a big demand. So
since most of the people I think that watch our channel, well, maybe are in the US, do you have a distributor here, or is it best?
Yeah, there is a couple that have approached. They approached us. We didn't approach them, and I thank them both. It's just dotting I's and crossing T's. If anybody that's watching does know anybody over there that is a distributor, happy to talk to them. Be great to have it in a couple of shops over there. Yeah.
A lot of people are familiar with a guy that lives here in Arizona. Actually, he's over in Glendale, Andy's Hobby Headquarters. Very popular here in the States. To get a lot of people get their models and stuff from him. He may be somebody to talk to. Very nice guy.
Oh, mate, I watch Andy. He's unbelievable, and when he's just pulled out the tanks and the Willies and the new Willies he did, the big 1/16th, I think they are.
Yeah.
Or 1/6. Unbelievable. As you can see, I build everything. Armor, aircraft, balsa. Yeah. And I've got a genuine bit of US of A here that was given to me.
Oh, made here. There you go. I've been on that ship.
Yeah, so have I. And I've got the photos from Pearl Harbor. So one of my Australian viewers, he went there in 2002, and elderly gentleman, senior gentleman, and he saw my Missouri I'm going to be building, and just said, I think you should have that. And I went, thank you very much.
Yeah, if anybody ever if they ever get into Hawaii and can go to Pearl Harbor and take the tour, it's a very good tour. Pretty much the whole ship. It's impressive.
I think for me, being ex-Navy, the emotion of being there would be overwhelming.
Did you go out to the Arizona?
No, I didn't. I haven't been there yet, but when I do go, I think that's the thing that'll hit me. It will be the emotional side of it all. So
yeah. When you get out to that platform and the water is so clear in Hawaii that you can see down to the ship, it's hauntingly eerie.
Yeah. And I mean, I know the whole patriotism thing and that in the States, and it's great, but just as an ally, so to speak, but knowing what was sacrificed for the betterment of everybody else in the world,
Yeah.
Hey, so any more questions there?
I don't see any more. Let me think myself. Like, what's it going to cost me to order one of every color? Because now I want to try them.
Mate, well, after we've gone finished the live and that, stay on there, mate. I'll get something. We can sort something out. There are currently 239 in the current range, excluding the 102 military colours, which are about to be, well, supposed to be released, but with things happening in the family, paint is just paint for families first. So, yeah.
Yeah, I had no idea your color range was so broad. That's crazy.
And it's by the end of the year, we hope to have in excess of 500.
Yeah. Now, do you recommend these are obviously, if these are lacquer based, do you recommend them being, you should wear face protection, you should paint a booth, not like
I'd definitely have some airflow around you. It's not the greatest smelling stuff. I mean, if it's concentrated, smells a bit, but I'd recommend spraying in a booth. With a 2K, I guarantee you to wear protection on your face. You don't want those going down in your lungs. But make sure you're comfortable when you're spraying.
Yeah, I'm not
Definitely
wearing
well
face
ventilated.
protection. I'm not wearing any masks or anything like that, but I'm in a well ventilated area, so.
That's what you need. As long as it's very well ventilated. Yeah. And have a look at this, Todd. I'll give you a quick sneak peek on some colours.
Mm.
Ooh, yeah.
Is your gloss black dry yet? I want to see this chrome, Eric.
That's all I'm waiting on now. We're coming up on an hour, you know, which is about what I wanted to run. So that'll be the creme de la creme.
I made you big, Jason, so we can check out these colors.
Yeah, so we can see it.
This is the unmarked box, so
I already want it.
I'll take it.
Yeah. What can I do that'll be patriotic? There we go. This is how good our labels are and how much attention we pay. Anybody that's got the old red, white, and blue on them would love to have this as a model bottle.
Oh,
look at that.
Love it.
Yeah, so
What's the name of that color?
that one is glossy sea blue.
Sea blue.
And then we can go to, well, we've got NATO green.
Bring it.
German dark grey.
Oh yeah. Anybody doing like armors or warships, that German gray is going to come in handy.
And
House of the Rising Sun. There we go.
yeah. USA insignia white.
Very
Okay, so
popular
that would
color.
pair with the sea blue you showed earlier,
Sea blue.
right?
Yeah, hang on, what do I do with that?
It was the first one you showed.
Yeah, I'm looking for it again, mate. It's okay. Where did it go?
We have an interesting question about the colors, actually, from Buck again. Do you have a crosswalk to other brands? If I say I need a Revell 371 light gray silk matte, would I be able to find it? You know, do you try to create your own versions of other well-known colors, just so they can use your?
If people would like that, we can do that. We have also, like, for example, this on the NATO brown here. Thanks, son. It has the RAL number on it. So this is NATO brown is RAL 8027-F9. So people have the federal standard numbers or the RAL or the British standard numbers. They can send that to us what they want, and we can make that up exactly to that number. So they get the exact same color, but in an Outlaw Paint bottle. That's IJN whole red. There's your British interior green. And there's your pigment. There you go.
You know, that's another thing. I love that you have clear bottles, because you know, most of these bottles you can't see. There's so much label, or they're opaque. You can't see when they're really fully mixed.
That's very.
There we go. Look at that. There you
go. Ooh, nice.
Now, do you have a recommendation for a good mixer, like a vortex mixer, handshaking? You know, do you have a little ball in your bottles to mix them?
No, because they're glass.
Yeah.
Don't put metal balls in glass. They're very bad. I mean, that's it. Hang on. One. Done.
Yeah. That's all I've been doing is handshaking it, and
I've got a scientific one over there. You can see straight between the gap there. There it is. But I'm not OCD, but yeah, that's just how I do it.
That's just how you roll, brother.
Yeah, it's just my attention to detail. That's my thing. It's got to be right or it's not. But I don't judge other people on what they do it that way, their way, because that works for them.
Do you put your colors together into sets? Like I think of a U.S. Navy set or a RAL set or something, a RAF set, Royal Air Force.
We have a brake set. We have a rust color set. And we do have another set. Oh, go to the brain, not working right now. We do have a wash and detail set. Yeah, so we've got a high performance brake set. The rust color set.
Do you have a tendency to steer away from sets as I've talked with a few people, and I guess it could be sort of like hit or miss with sets. Some people, geez, I only need, this color and that color. This guy offers it, but in a set, and it comes with 3 other colors I don't need, right? You know what I mean?
Exactly, and that's why we've only got a couple of sets. Like if you've got a rust set, that's a weathering package, basically, that can come straight out of your airbrush.
Correct.
So we are not doing that for like your American, British, Australian. We're not going to separate it. And in our order, like in the other color range, no, we're not doing that. Because people want a particular color. Now, if somebody comes to us and says, look, I want to order this, but is there any way you could, if we did it in a set of, say, X amount of bottles, we'll look after them. They just need to email us first and let us know what they want. And then we can do something with it that way.
Oh, go ahead. Finish.
Yeah, so we want to let people have that option. We love talking to people and listening to people.
So are you saying that, like, if somebody emails you and says, hey, look, I'm going to buy kind of bulk, like 5 or 6 or maybe 10, that are you saying, okay, we'll give a discount or something, or no? So
Absolutely. Yeah, so if somebody's looking at buying, say, 6 colors, email us first. Like if it's a box set, if they wanted something designed in a box set, so but not just 6 different colors. Like like if they would like a specific box set just for them, we can do that. But wait, look, we are small enough to be able to not negotiate, but be able to help out.
Right, and that's awesome. Not a lot of companies, are willing to go that extra mile for their customers.
Yeah. Well, the reason I ask is that, I know so many people are building, like I am, they're building a Titanic or a version of the Titanic, for example, right? And if, right now there's a Vallejo box set that has like the light mast, the wood, the dark mast, the anti-fouling colors, right? And for example, if you want the Vallejo kit, the Vallejo Titanic kit, which looks like you're getting, that anti-fouling red is only available in that color. And I actually bought 2 myself because you can't find that anymore.
Yes, you can. I make it.
Yeah, well, that's why I was asking. Like, if you created a set like that, and to be honest, the light mask that they use in there is a little off, but if you did something like that, there could be a lot of people that would be interested in a set of color corrected, as good as possible Robert Reed version of the Titanic colors. You know what I mean? The green, for example, they don't have the green for the mechanical equipment, the steam engine, the small steam engine, the winches, right? There's no green. I would pick that up in a heartbeat. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. That black cabinet you can see there, that's all Titanic in there. The top 2 is all Titanic.
Yeah, and I love the build. I've just had to make do with colors that I can find, right?
Now, here's a big question, especially for anybody that lives in the UK, in the US, or anywhere other than Australia. If we buy in bulk, is shipping going to be more? Is it like per bottle for shipping, or is it per package kind of thing? How does that, like, how bad's the shipping, I guess?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I think it's, if you're buying bulk and becoming a distributor or something like that, like bulk, it's cheaper for you to have somebody, an American company, ship it in than it is me directly shipping it to you.
Okay,
Like
so it's cheaper to use a third party, basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Because like on the site, for me, it's like, okay, this is $9 for a bottle, $9 shipping. Okay, so there's like 18 for one bottle, right? But if I bought 5 bottles, is it still charging me the $9?
Oh no. Oh no, just that. Yeah. No,
okay, it squashes that down. All right.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
I had to ask because shipping prices are just insane. So.
Mate, they're off the charts. What did I send? 2 kilo package to Sweden of paint, which is a fair amount of paint, and that was $75.
Wow.
That's actually not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not bad at all, actually.
Yeah.
All right.
We do have another question.
Before that, I'm gonna start spraying the chrome on the test piece. So I'm gonna go
gentle, build it up, misty.
Gotcha, misty.
So you're building it up as layers of very light coats.
Yeah, very light. What was the question there?
Buck was asking, what's your shelf life like? He's had paints literally dry to solid before I ever opened a bottle. I have too. I've had Tamiya's where I open it up and it's sludge.
Okay, hang on. I've got a box down there that's been, those Outlaws have been there since day one, so two and a bit years now. I'll go get that box. Okay, you'll be able to see that, even all the dust and everything in there. There's even spider webs in there.
Well, you are in Australia. There could probably be a snake, kangaroo, huge spiders.
All right, well, that's Holden engine grey. Nah, not sludge, perfect.
And I think some of that is due. I think it's got to be due. I saw that he pulled a stopper out of the bottle.
Yeah.
Look
at that. That's got crap on it there, whatever that is. British Racing Green.
That's excellent.
About 3 years, you could skip if it's just kept. It doesn't go to sludge because it's a liquid pigment that has been, not engineered, but Braden spent so much time, like before even one bottle hit the shelf. He's got worse OCD than I have. So yeah. Hang on, my son made me a cup of coffee. 5 seconds.
Sure thing.
Yep, I'm back. Hang on. There we go.
In the meantime, I'm going to post a link.
Now, if you're in America, that is the mighty Parramatta Eels. It's a rugby league team, the best there ever is. My son just made a bit of a grunt and a groan because he doesn't support that team. I still love him, but
Hey, only because you have to, right?
What's that?
Only because you have to.
Yeah. Oh, kids. But as I said, loyalty is one of my big, strong suits. I think we're not driven by money here or profit at Outlaw. That's just not what it's about. We're about people. We're about modelers. We're about turning other people's lives in the, just even for 1 second when they spray it or whatever, they go, wow, there's some bit of joy in their life. We give away the whole range, any model show we attend to, we actually give away as a prize, so they can offer it as a raffle to raise money or whatever, the entire collection at every show.
That's
on
amazing.
top of adding a few sponsorship dollars and that, not because we want to go, oh yeah, we're wonderful, because the money mainly, most of all the shows we attend raise money for kids, men's mental health, veterans. So the money and things we put in, we know is going to help somebody. Yeah. And it's great. You see all the kids coming with their fathers and their grandfathers, and instead of being on a controller, they've now picked up an airbrush or a model kit, and they're communicating, they're learning skills. That's what we do. That's what we're about.
Awesome. How's that coming, Eric?
Kind of piggybacking off what you just said there, Jace. There's a, the Models for Heroes.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a shame that there's nothing over in the States like that, because that's UK, right? And it just, I really, being a veteran myself, so it really kind of stinks that there's nothing like that here in the States, because that would benefit a lot of the soldiers here.
You could start it, mate. Nothing's stopping you starting it.
I got a hard enough time with Hobby Time modelers. Just ask Todd.
Yeah, but if you start it from a grain of sand, you end up with a pearl. And I'm sure there's thousands of veterans in the States that are modelers that you wouldn't have to carry the weight on your back alone.
True.
Because I've never known a veteran that's a solo effort.
Nope, it's always team.
You got, never leave a man behind, always pick a man up.
Amen.
So I think
so far I've done a handful of passes.
It does look metallic.
It's definitely got like a very high sheen to it.
Now, let me ask you this, Jason. When you're doing the chromes, when you do a light misting, do you let that fully dry and then apply the next, or you just keep doing light mist over until you get to the shine you want? Or
so light mist dry, light mist, and it's only seconds we're talking about. We're not talking minutes away. And then you'll get to that point, and you'll just see it just goes into Exhibit A. Yeah.
Bill says, "What about Real Mates Talk?"
That's right, mate. Real Mates Talk is one of the other. I'm an ambassador for that. I got the hat for that one up there. But so basically, Real Mates Talk is not just for military, but for anybody. So in Australia here, it's so say not a mate's having a bloke's having a few issues. He's got the black dog, depression. He's feeling really, suicidal or whatever, or he just wants to chat. We can call anytime, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and I'll answer the phone and mate, just listen to what they've got to say. I think the secret is listening. And most of the people that give you a bell, you can empathise with them. Having been down that dark road before. So that's what Real Mates Talk is about. And even if in the community, you go have a coffee, there's workshops or stuff. In Wayne from BB's Hobbies up in Mackay. Mackay is about, I think it's about a 4.5 hour drive north of us. In his own hobby shop, he has workshops. Not on focusing about Real Mates Talk and men's mental health, but it's like going in to see a psych or whatever without seeing a psych, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Everything becomes natural. You just start opening up. You're talking about models. You're talking about that. Just talking about whatever, and then that leads into how's everything going? Yeah, okay, mate.
You mind if I throw that in the chat?
Absolutely. realmatestalk.com.au or .org, I believe it is.
Yep. Yeah, that's excellent.
Yeah. I'm also part of PAWS. It's assistance dogs for returned veterans with PTSD.
Another good service.
Yeah, so those boys are unreal. I met them for the first time last year in Townsville.
Yeah, okay, that gets it.
What's happening, mate?
I was just, I'm impressed. You know, boy, the bowl cleans up, needle, everything.
Yeah.
Cleanup's a piece of cake.
But so I became I met a couple of the guys. I met the founder of it. Met a couple of the puppies. They were great. So I became part of that cause because they're just unbelievable in what they do. To have that, everybody loves a dog, and these are all hand raised and rescued dogs as well. So
yeah,
if it saves their life.
Anytime we can support the veterans in any country, right? It's any effort, whether it be a hobby, a phone call, a model, a pet, things like that. We should,
Yeah, I mean, there's honor for me personally in serving, but you didn't do it for the glory.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's pretty selfless because you're putting the team ahead of your own goals. You're putting your country, your life, it's sort of in the rear view, right? You're putting everybody else ahead of you. So
that's exactly what it's about. To me, that's service. It's about, I reflect and you think, like the guys in combat and that, I don't think anyone, if they honestly answered, would say, "Oh, we did it for the USA, we did it for Australia, we did it for the..." No, you did it for the bloke on your right, and you did it for the bloke on your left.
Yep, you did it.
Not once would you go, "Oh, USA," or Aussie. No, you'd be just going, "Yeah, I got you, mate. I got you, mate."
Yep, absolutely. Couldn't have said it better.
Yeah.
You'll find that with me as we get over the next 2, 3, 4 decades, hopefully. Yeah, I'm not afraid to say what I feel.
And you shouldn't. No, and you shouldn't. We encourage that.
I think the society today is just gone. It's almost gone back to Vietnam era. It's almost gone back to Vietnam era. Where you've got to be careful who you offend, what you say. No. Another Australian saying is, "Get a mullet up here."
We do have a question for you, Eric. How's the smell?
Wouldn't know. I'll tell you one thing. Again, I'm kind of nose blind with this stuff. I lost my sense of smell in the first round of COVID in 2020 when I got nailed with it. So I don't know. To me, it's almost odorless. As long as you're in a well ventilated area, I think you'll be all right. I didn't wear a mask. I probably should if I'm going to be dealing with any type of chemicals. But
I would, and it's brutally honest. It is acrylic lacquer. It does have an odor to it, and if you get enough of it, it's gonna get strong. But if you've got a paint booth, if you're spraying outdoors or it's well ventilated, and the air is moving, you're fine. The only one is the 2K clear, and that 100% you wear a respirator mask on it. Just a small one, not a full, like hazmat suit.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that spray indoors, even with those small little Amazon paint booths, things like that can't ventilate outdoors like I can. I can't ventilate outdoors. And they usually don't live alone. They have wives or kids, and stuff. You don't want it stinking up the whole house,
No, you don't. That's going to cause you grief.
Yeah.
No, I built my own. I built my own spray booth, all wood, because I had a cardboard one that I made. The Amazon ones just didn't seem like you were getting a lot of bang for your buck. They just seemed really small. Like they were great if you all you did was like say model cars, in the 24th, 25th scale. But if you wanted to do ships like me, that ain't gonna fit in that booth, right? So I needed something bigger. So I said, well, the hell with it. I got some scrap wood, so I built my own. I encourage other people to do the same. It ain't that hard.
No, Barbara Toaster X, I actually saw him he came up with a bloody brilliant idea, and I'm not sure where he got it from, but so you take your exhaust tube from your spray booth, run a carbon filter inside it and just wet it down. On the end of it, put that into he had a Home Depot bucket.
Oh yeah.
Of water, fed that in, had vent like backflush tubes, like holes in the top. No odor at all. So it gets filtered twice, through a wet one and then the final one. Then it hits the water and it dissipates you. You got nothing happening. Like there's no odor, there's no anything.
Right.
Yeah. And that's an inexpensive way to do it. I know some people will feed it right into like a HEPA air filter or like a air filtration, machine, like a room air cleaner that has an intake. You can feed it into that too. But those are awfully expensive. Do you want to do your final thoughts? I don't want to keep Jason today, but
I want to do final thoughts for sure because I'm left color me impressed. Okay, with this stuff, and I knew I would be. I trust Jason and his word. I've been watching him, Pete from Oz Scale Modeling, and Hibbo, and been watching the Aussie Scale Modelers live, and I just love it. Of course, I also talked to another big supporter of Outlaw Paints, and that's Bill Drat. I don't know if he's still in chat. But Bilge, he uses that. So I was able to actually ask him a bunch of different questions because I know Jason's a busy man. The beginning of the year has just been kind of rough for him. So I used other sources. And, I absolutely love it. This is a complete recommendation. Now, trust me, if this was shit, I would tell him, Jace, it's shit, or I'm doing it wrong, right?
Yep.
So I'm not going to blow smoke up anybody's tailpipe. So if I say it's good, it's good. I mean it. This is great. The chrome could have come out better if I had the right gloss black, and I just I got old stuff out of rattle cans, but even that it came out and shined through. So that's looking pretty sharp. We had the textured blue, which I'm really impressed with. I really like that. This is something I can see, and I don't know if it was meant for this, but an application of like car interiors, right? This would be perfect for like the seats and whatnot to give that sort of opposition from any type of like semi-gloss or gloss or high shine areas that you have inside the vehicle. But yeah, I love it, and I appreciate Jason for coming on and taking the time to join us and to field all sorts of questions. The one thing I do apologize for not getting into was the 2K clear. We just didn't have time for that, but this definitely will be used soon and with a mask. Jason.
Yeah, mate, you got to wear a mask. Yeah, yeah.
That could be your follow-up video, Eric.
That definitely will be. Now, Jason, anything you want to say? Final thoughts? Words
Well,
of-
firstly, and above everything, thank you for inviting me on. It's unbelievable because even though you're over there and I'm all the way down here, you just feel like your neighbours, especially in the modelling community and the group that we have throughout this wonderful world. And I really do thank you so very much. Thanks, Todd, mate. Unbelievable, mate. Yeah, thanks for all the support. I think you've done a great job spraying out there, mate. Yeah, could have been my fault, mate. I should have actually thrown in that gloss black. But we'll have to get some over to you so you can really experience it. I do have an Outlaw Paints channel, but it's only got one episode, and Braden did it to open that up originally, and yeah, he had a voice. I think it was one of those automatic voiceover things on it, because his personality is different to mine, and you know, that was when he was doing it.
Mhm.
So I'm thinking of rebooting it up with the effigy set will go on that, so people will be able to watch that on Aussie Scale Modeler. Not an Aussie Modelers Live because, well, that's just 3 dudes talking, so it's great. But you guys have been amazing. Your individual channels are amazing, and thank you so very, very much for providing that content. You're all very skilled, but above all, you're decent blokes. You're real human beings that give a shit about the rest of the world and your mates. So I think that's what I like about is all. Thanks to everybody that turned up and watched. Look, you're over there. Wherever you are, you're over there. I can't see. I had a peek at what you did over there, like your spray outs, but just thanks to the support, guys.
Anytime.
Just amazing.
Yeah.
In every situation, not just.
And
paint.
it is. You know, we say the same thing about you guys over there. You know, or even you know, people like Wayne from World of Wayne, or Nigel. You know, you know, and you know, there's just, it really kind of transcends, you know, distance when we can get together like this. Like you said,
Yeah.
you know, it feels like we're in the same room, just kind of, you know, shooting the shit kind of thing, and it feels good.
Yeah.
I reckon. Sorry, mate. And talking about Nigel, I reckon we could do chrome on his head. He's got that much of a shine on his forehead. He'd glow, that boy.
He's got a high gloss.
He's got a high gloss forehead. But Nigel, he's just one of them. Then, like, you got Sue, you've got
right.
like Bucky. I mean, I watch Bucky's channel. I mean, all these people are just bloody amazing people. Forget the modelling. That's another level. But as people, they're just good, real people. And that's what it's about.
It is. It is. A matter of fact, we have like contests that you guys don't even know about, but we watch you, Pete, and Hibbo, right? You guys throw each other under the bus so bad, and we get the biggest kick out of it, right? And of course, we get on ours, and we have the same thing. We're either thrashing Ian left and right for God knows whatever he's doing, or Gilly because he's just Canadian.
Canadian, eh?
And they're like, okay, who's worse in that department of like bashing? So it's kind of like a competition, really.
Yeah, I always thought, now, this is crazy. Like, you hear your stereotypes, right? I thought Canadians were peace-loving, you know, nothing ever happens in Canada. Oh, shit. That's it. I mean, yeah. Wow. I thought, like, Canada was full of unicorns running around.
Oh no, Gilly will rip your head off and then apologize for it.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry,
Speaking of Gilly, there he is.
Where is Gilly?
He's here.
Still there?
Yeah, Gilly's an angry Canadian. He's not sorry. Exactly.
Get him some maple syrup and pancakes, he'll be right.
Yeah. This was a fantastic stream. I'm glad you joined, Jason. You know, I definitely want to try some of these paints for sure. And it was good to hear some of the backstory and the veteran support. And I think that's, it is a great community we have. The more people I meet, the more I like it, and we have these little groups of people from Australia to the UK to here, all over the place. And they're always so supportive of each other.
Yeah, and you've got the foreign country like Canada.
Well, we don't talk about Canada.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
Nah, he's bloody he's awesome, Gilly. I think he's bloody top shelf.
Well, that'll be about it. I guess it's time to wrap up. I appreciate everybody showing up to take part in this. It's been a blast. Maybe we can do another joint project like this in the future.
Absolutely. What about when Toddy gets his bottles?
Yeah, no, I want to definitely try it for sure.
Yeah, Todd.
I'll let you produce mine, Eric.
Okay.
Hey, Todd, just one question, mate. And this is how we're talking about stereotypes. I just keep thinking America, Todd's at the country club. Todd's on the golf course. Todd, it's just got that Bel Air kind of name. Todd.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely not the case.
Todd with the
I try not to leave my house.
Christmas vacation. Todd.
Yeah.
No, yeah, there is one person, Jason. If you could maybe give me some information to get a hold of him. But I hear a lot about him from Bilge as well. But full bore models.
Andrew.
I wouldn't mind doing a feature presentation for him as well. I hear that he's a great guy and he does great work.
Hang on, while we're here, because that's that effigy box I'm doing the video on. They're the specific Holden effigy paints, but this is
yeah. Look at that.
Look at
Dang.
that. Oh look. Aussie scale model.
Nice. Now, if nobody's familiar, just really briefly, full bore model kits deals with resin model kits, full kits, right? So I don't know if he does like pieces or anything like that. But,
yep, he does.
He does do pieces.
That's beautiful.
Oh, you've got to.
However he does it, whether it's be 3D printing or cast resin, I don't know.
It's 3D printing.
It is.
Not filament. It's proper. He's got a great machine there.
Resin.
Yeah, it's resin. It is unbelievable. It is off the charts. It's the detail. If you go onto the site and have a look, you just go. And he can make you anything you want as well. Anything.
And that's the beauty of it.
We do have one more question from Bucky. I like that. Does it work on wood or maybe other porous surfaces?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. But like anything, primer.
Yeah.
Use your primer.
So maybe that's a better question is, does your primer work on wood?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
When you go to Pete's channel, Oscar Modeling, you'll see the Yamato and all that sort of stuff. I mean, yeah, it works, and it works very well. Yeah, very proud of it. Very, very proud. And Braden, and I'm not taking all the glory, he is the genius behind Outlaw Paints, like the colours, not the chemical engineering, but the amount of time he spent before he even sold one bottle.
Tell him thank you.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's more than a one-man show. So
yeah, he's actually on his way down to Brisbane. So he's got a 6-hour drive ahead of him, 6.5 hours drive, because we've got distance here. So, but yeah, I will not take all the credit for Outlaw Paints. I've got the passion, the drive. That's why it is what it is. I believe in it. I use it as a modeler. That's that part of it. But he's the real genius behind it. And the real genius behind me is my wife and the support from my family and friends and you guys. So it basically is one whole circle that makes Outlaw Paints.
Yeah,
right on.
You know what? I'd love to support people in the community for built by a modeler for modelers. That's a great thing. I mean, it's something that's not just, hey, I'm just a paint guy. No, I build these models and I use the paints. I mean, that's I want to get behind it.
Right, mate. Well, you need once we're finished up and everything, we'll have a chat. And you're looking for Titanic paint. Yeah, I've got the Titanic sitting there. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
he can hook you up.
See any more questions?
And that'll be a wrap.
That'll be a wrap.
Thanks again, Jason.
My pleasure.
And thanks, Eric.
Thanks, Eric.
My pleasure. This is something I enjoy doing. So I'm glad to support, like you said, a modeler, trying to get his feet on the ground with his own company. And he's and as he would put it, he's a good bloke.
He's a top bloke.
Well, thanks everybody for coming. Like, subscribe, share, all that jazz. I think we're going to have more of these in the future. So.
Yeah, I'll pop in, even though it means getting up early on a Sunday morning. In the words of Danny Glover, I'm too old for this shit.
Perfect. See you, everybody.
Later.
Catch you later.